This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, things get hot in a Burger King kitchen as a deep fryer fire in Meridian Mall prompts evacuation. The buzz around Dunedin's B card for bus travel continues as the system goes live today. And a plethora of life-sized little blue penguins were painted at Dunedin's Meridian Mall recently to raise awareness of their plight. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. Dunedin's Meridian Mall was evacuated this morning after a fire in the downstairs food court. Fire appliances from 2 different stations were called out to attend the fire.
Fire appliances from Dunedin Central and Roslyn fire stations were called to the Meridian Mall just after 8:30 this morning after a fire erupted in a deep fryer vat at Burger King. The flames were extinguished by the in-house sprinkler system as well as staff using a fire blanket.
Yeah, there was a small fire in the vat at Burger King. It was extinguished by the sprinkler system.
Senior Station Officer Martin Hastie says the staff's application of good fire safety equipment had stopped the flames from spreading.
And then we just had to make sure it was out and do some cleaning up and salvage.
At almost the same time, other fire crews were called to a car on fire in a garage in Musselburgh. The blaze was extinguished there by firemen wearing breathing apparatus and using a hose. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After a few days of 20 degrees, parts of the south woke up to wintry conditions today on the first official day of spring. Snow also settled on higher hills around Dunedin. Snow fell to 300 metres in the south and east of the South Island, resulting in a thick layer of snow in areas such as Ormeco. Temperatures were forecast to peak at just 7 degrees. Snow affected state highways and alpine roads, with extreme care advised in some places. Chains were compulsory on all vehicles driving over the Crown Range Road between Queenstown and Wanaka. Care and chains were also advised for the Devil's Staircase between Kingston and Frankton. Crews worked to clear the Manuhiri Kia and Maniatoto roads this morning, with Dandy's Pass Road closed. Some Dunedin buses ran late this morning and customers experienced problems with the new B-card system. There were multiple reports of people using the Dunedin public transport system having trouble tagging on and tagging off with the card.
A grey, drizzly day didn't seem to deter people from testing out their new B-cards on Dunedin buses. With some services delayed, Otago Regional Council Transport Manager Gary Maloney confirms there have been some teething problems.
I talked to a lady as I was coming to the office and saw her get off a bus and saw her tag off and had a wee chat with her and asked her how she found the experience, and she said it was straightforward. She did say that there had been some teething issues. There was a lady on her bus that had a wee bit of trouble tagging on.
Maloney says the first time passengers tag on, it'll take a few seconds longer to beep because the card is fully activating for the first time, which is causing minor delays. With the introduction of the B card, it's also the first day of $2 fares for adults using the card, with the ability to transfer to another bus for free.
That means you can go, for example, from Portobello all the way through with a transfer at the hub to Mosgiel or Palmerston. $2.
In the last few weeks, about 500 to 800 cards have been registered online each day. Bus travellers approached this morning shared a range of experiences.
I've got the card, but it's not been registered. It's the first time I've been on the bus and that, so I will be registering it to get it. I've got the gold card though.
It was good. There were plenty of spaces on the bus, and the B card seems to work quite well.
I think it was a little bit later than normal, but that's probably because he's having to explain to everybody what the B card is.
When I got my B card, I went up to the Green House. So they tell you register. Went in there, and well, it was all done in 5 minutes. She got my gold card, and and everything. It's not a problem. You're loaded, sir, and have a nice day. Thank you very much. That'll do me.
The Regional Council says there's been a massive uptake of the B cards in the days leading up to launch day. Close on 2,000 cards were registered over the weekend, with a similar number registered yesterday. The flat fare scheme runs until the end of this year, and then the ORC is set to decide whether to keep it or go back to zone fares. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A serious crash on Dunedin's southern motorway this morning left one person trapped with serious injuries and another with moderate injuries. Police were called to the crash at the intersection of Barnes Drive and State Highway 1 on Caversham just before 11:30 this morning. 2 cars from the crash ended up off the road, which blocked the southern motorway. St John Ambulance say one person who was trapped in their vehicle was in a serious condition. A second person was in a moderate condition. Both were transported to Dunedin Hospital by ambulance. A painting marathon was held in a Dunedin mall recently to create 501 life-sized little blue penguins. The aim was to create a visualisation of the simple little things that can be done to save the environment.
Dunedin Mayor Aaron Hawkins and City Councillors Sophie Barker and Steve Walker helped out with the painting of 501 little blue penguins at the Golden Centre Mall on Friday. Each of these papier-mâché penguins, made from end-run paper from the Otago Daily Times, symbolises one of 501 simple things we could all do to save the environment.
This is a visualisation of all the hundreds of little actions that we could all be doing tomorrow. That's how many there is that we're not doing that we could be doing.
The idea is the brainchild of author Carolyn Manor, whose book Penguin Kind lists the many actions people can carry out to live more sustainably.
There just isn't enough awareness of all the things that we can be doing, all the tiny, tiny little things that we can be doing that cost us almost no effort. And I think so many people want to be doing more, but they just don't know what to do.
The proceeds of every copy of her book sold in New Zealand will go towards conserving New Zealand penguins, such as the little blue.
The penguin is the indicator species for ocean health, and so therefore scientists have shown that every single action that humans make, from the tiniest action to big ones, will ultimately either benefit or impact negatively a penguin.
The life-size penguins are set to go on a road trip of the North Island in an electric car to communicate the impact of humans' actions on nature. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. Passengers from Auckland have begun arriving at southern holiday destinations, and we continue our series on the cannabis referendum. See you after the break.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
No mai noa, welcome back. A conference being held in Queenstown this week includes at least one Aucklander as a guest. This comes despite the Prime Minister's call for people from Auckland to avoid mass gatherings. A total of 6 Air New Zealand flights brought many Aucklanders to Queenstown throughout yesterday. We spoke to one Auckland visitor at Queenstown Airport who said he was planning to attend a conference. Many of the 15 speakers listed for the conference are from Auckland, but it is unclear if they are still attending. This comes amidst concern that COVID-19 will spread from Auckland. The conference is being held at the Heritage Hotel this Thursday and Friday. Now we bring you another excerpt from Channel 39's You Choose 2020 series. In this instalment, we ask local party representatives if they know anyone affected by cannabis.
Yes, I know someone who was positively affected by it, which was my friend's mother when I was growing up, had cancer, and she used cannabis to deal with a lot of her pain. And she, I used to go to their house a lot, and there was a massive improvement in her mood and her mental health when she had some control over her pain.
Yeah, kia ora, that's a really good question. Overwhelmingly, I know more people that have had positive effects. I think it's really important when we're thinking about and talking about cannabis that we're remembering that it is a medicinal plant and it has many therapeutic benefits, for helping chronic health conditions, to helping with anxiety, to helping with depression. But then it's also recognising that yes, there is some issues around use and harm, but I think it's important to make the distinction that it's the circumstance that we're using cannabis, it's that cannabis isn't actually inherently harmful.
Well, I don't know anybody who's been affected in a positive way, and I certainly don't have any friends that are serious cannabis users. But you know, it's been around for a long time, including when I was an adolescent, and recreational cannabis use wasn't that unusual at parties and so on. But I don't have very close affinity with or association with those who are regular users of marijuana.
Yeah, both, very much both. So we see, personally, people who have been smoking a lot, especially pre-18, you can definitely see that there are some negative effects associated there. It's not everybody who smokes under 18 that is negatively affected. It really is a small portion of those, but it is a very real and negative impact, particularly on mental health. And that's been detrimental, especially when you buy your weed before you pay rent. That's probably the most directly it's impacted me, where flatmates haven't fronted up for rent. But post-18 as well, we see that those negative health effects aren't nearly there as much.
I mean, the reality is, as a student, almost all my peers that I know have tried it, use it on a regular basis, whether it's medicinal or recreational. And I think there's a real mix of positive and negative. And I think ultimately, whatever the outcome of the referendum is, we need to make sure that the people that are going to use it regardless are using it in a safe way. So yeah, lots of people.
Yeah, I've known people who have enjoyed cannabis recreationally. I also know people who have had negative effects, and that goes for me to the issue of making sure the regulation is appropriate, that kids can't get hold of it, and that anyone with any mental health challenges or otherwise has access to the right kind of information and support.
And you can watch the full episode at odt.co.nz. After the break on the South Today, a council report into a contentious proposed landfill site says there will be minimal environmental impact, and we have the weather for you. See you soon.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Thanks for staying with us. Last week, the Dunedin City Council applied for resource consent for a new landfill at Smooth Hill, just south of the city. A 1,500-page report accompanies the proposal. The council report says the proposed 6 million cubic metre landfill near Dunedin Airport would only have minor side effects on the surrounding environment. The council's current landfill at Green Island will come to the end of its functional life in the next 3 to 8 years. The first stage of the new landfill project is predicted to cost just under $100 million in operational and capital costs. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Things got too hot in a Burger King kitchen this morning as a deep fryer fire in Meridian Mall prompted evacuation. The buzz around Dunedin's B card for bus travel continues as the system goes live today, although some people experience delay. And a plethora of life-sized little blue penguins were painted at Dunedin's Meridian Mall recently to raise awareness for their plight. And now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, reflections of a temporary pond in an inner-city car park. Looking at the situation, a westerly airflow will continue for the rest of the week. Some showers in western areas, but mostly fine in the east. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are partly cloudy with 13 degrees. Across to the northeast, it's partly cloudy here too. Nelson on 13 and Blenheim slightly cooler with 11 degrees. Moving to Canterbury, showers in Kaikoura with 8 degrees. Christchurch up 1 on 9 and partly cloudy. The sun should peak out in Ashburton, though still only 9 degrees for you. To the southern towns, it's 4 of a kind as the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore share moderate westerlies and 11 degrees. In central Otago, light winds but otherwise fine in Queenstown, Wanaka and Alexandra. You can expect 9, 10 and 11 degrees respectively. The winds are a little stronger in Te Anau, still 10 degrees for you. To the northern towns, light winds and fine in these parts too, 13 on the coast in Timaru and Oamaru, slightly cooler inland as Twizel and Omanama should reach 11 degrees. In Dunedin, becoming fine tonight, though frosty inland, expect an overnight low of 0. Mostly fine and sunny tomorrow, but cloud increasing from mid-afternoon and moderate westerly winds on Stew. A high of 11 and a low of 2. Sunny periods and some cloud on Thursday, moderate northerly winds developing with milder temperatures, a high of 14 and a low of 8 degrees. And to Invercargill. Frosty tonight with an overnight low of -1. Sunny periods and some cloud tomorrow and moderate to fresh cool westerlies, a high of 12 and a low of 8. Cloud increasing and a few showers developing later on Thursday with moderate northwesterly winds, a high of 14 and a low of 9. And that's almost the news this Tuesday. With New Zealand holiday makers encouraged to explore their own backyard, reporter Alexia Johnson recently got the chance to take in the beauty of Fiordland National Park. We leave you now with a video of her trip. Have a great evening and week. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.